Welcome to lab number 4, software installation and shell scripting. The learning outcomes of this lab are how to search, install, and remove software using APT, how to create and run a basic shell script. So for question 1, we're going to practice using APT. The general formula for the APT command is APT command, and then the package name of the command that you are actioning on. We're going to use sudo every time we're going to do an administrative task. For instance, installing, removing, purging, etc. To learn more about the apt command, please see man apt or man apt get. Now, let's practice searching for packages. For step 1, we're going to open Tilix and we're going to search for a Tetris clone. The search string is going to be this one over here, Tetris clone. I'll make this a little bigger. That's better. Apt search and then Tetris clone. Perfect. Now use the search string Tetris to search for all the packages related to Tetris. You know what? I think I'm gonna instead going to split it like this. This is gonna minimize the amount of screenshots I need to take. Yeah. Okay, so let's do apt search Tetris. And this is gonna return a lot more packages because I'm looking for anything that either in the description, the name or meta package or the virtual package contains the word Tetris, whereas this one was a bit more specific because it was looking specifically for Tetris clone. Now let's repeat the previous search, this search, but this time we're going to look for package names only. This is the command that we use when you are looking for package names only. Okay, let me split it here. I'm going to do apt search names only, and again we're looking for Tetris, and this should return two packages that contain the word Tetris in their name. Take a screenshot of your terminal and name it q1.1.png. Okay, this is gonna be q1.1.png. We're gonna place this screenshot. Let's click on Other in our CIS 106 folder. This is labs, so we're gonna go and create a folder for lab 4, and the screenshot goes here. Perfect. Let's move along to installing packages. Now, to install a package, we use the install apt command. Please install these two packages here. So, just gonna close this, Let's press Q to exit. Yep, clear the screen. And now that I have a clean canvas, let's do sudo apt install. And the command that and the package that we're installing is Bastet and block attack. Perfect. I'm gonna press enter over here. Type your password. Seems like I have Bastet already installed. Let me remove the package and try it again because I want you to see, I want my output to match exactly what you're doing in your computer. Okay, now that I clean it up, perfect. So you can see it's gonna tell you, hey, I'm installing Bastet and I'm installing Block Attack. And it's gonna give you a little summary over here. Now that we have the packages installed, we're gonna take a look at the package information for both packages. So let's go back into our terminal. I'm gonna split it in two, clear the screen here, and I'm gonna do apt show package. I think apt show should do the trick. apt show, and then the package we're looking at is bastet and block attack. Bastet and block attack. Okay, and as you can see, this command here gives us all the information that we need to know about the package, including descriptions, homepage of the package, dependencies, and so on. Compare these two outputs. The larger the program, well, the more information you're gonna get over here. This package is quite small because this is a command line Tetris game, whereas this is a graphical Tetris game. Okay, use now we're going to install some packages and remove some packages. Now what I'm going to do is that, well, I am not required really to have this screenshot there, so I'm going to clear the screen here. Let's press Q to exit and Q to exit and clear the screen. We don't need this anymore, so let's do the installation of the packages. Let me put this side by side. Yes, that way I can refer to the instructions as I do them. So we need to install Blackout 2 and Cujo, and we need to remove block attack. So this is how we can do both actions in a single command. So we're gonna do sudo apt install, and then the packages that I want to install, I'm gonna end their name with the plus icon. So we're gonna do blockout 2 plus, which indicates install, and then Cujo plus, which indicates installation, and then block attack and a minus in the end, which tells the apt command, hey, I want to remove this package rather than installing it. Press enter. Since I closed the terminal by mistake, it's gonna ask me for my password one more time, and there we go. I'm removing this and I'm installing this. Do you want to continue? Yes, I like to continue. There we go. Now let's take a screenshot of our terminal. There we go. And we're gonna call this q1.2.png. There we go. Removing packages. So to remove a package, we use the remove command. To purge a package, we use the purge command. The difference between removing and purging is as follows. When you remove a package, you are removing only its binaries, and that's it. So there are things that are left behind, like configuration files. When you're purging a package, you're removing the binaries and libraries plus any configuration files that they have in the etc directory. User configurations that is stored in your home directory is not removed. As a matter of fact, those configurations are never removed. So let's play around. Let's remove Cujo and let's purge Cujo. Let's clear the screen. Sudo apt remove Cujo. There we go. And it's saying, hey, I'm removing this package. Good. Let's purge it now. And notice that now it's saying, hey, I'm going to remove Cujo and everything else related to it. And there we go. Take a screenshot and name it q1.3.png. There we go. Cleaning the system, right? Every once in a while, we want to clean our system because there are dependencies that get left behind as we install and remove applications. To clean everything, all we have to do is run this command over here. Let me clear the screen, paste, and enter. There we go. q1.4.png. I run this command like once or twice a month in my computers to keep them clean. Let's moving on. And now let's start with question number 2, shell scripting part 1. Now, part of understanding the fundamentals of Linux is learning how to run and execute how to create and execute a basic shell script. Something as simple as a hello world script. Getting accustomed to those steps of, you open a text editor, you type the code that you need to type, you save it, and you execute it. And that's the goal for this section of the lab. I want you to get comfortable with that. Now, for that, we need a text editor. And just like we did during the classroom, you have two options over here. Please stay away from using VS Code for this particular purpose. I don't want you to get confused. So either pick one of these two. I am going to be using GNOME Text because it's simpler to understand. It has less options and it's just easy to use. I'm going to close my terminal for now and let's open VS Code. There we go. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Now, we're going to save the file as lab4 script.sh, and we're going to save it in the scripts directory that we created during class. So let's click on Save As. If you don't have the folder in your home directory, just make it, right? I have a folder, so I'm going to keep it. So I'm just going to open it, and let's call this lab4 script1.sh. There we go. Now, the first line of your bash shell script needs to be the shell declaration. You can use either one of these two. Now, I provided an explanation below on the difference of these two. The TLDR is that this is portable because this is going to search for bash in your environment variable. So if you're writing a script that is going to be used on many, many different Linux distributions and different systems, this is a good idea to use, right? This is a way of writing safe. This is a way of writing safe scripts. Now, if you know that your script is going to be run on the same system over and over, just like it is our case, we're just going to be writing a scripts for Debian. You can use this one over here. So let's copy our shebang, which is going to tell bash where to put, where it's going to tell bash which shell is going to run our script. Remember when we were doing the presentation on what is a shell, that I explained to you guys that a system can have more than one shell installed. And so when you execute a script, if you don't include the shebang at the top, whatever is your current shell is what's going to run the commands that you have here. That's bad because some commands don't work the same on some shells. So the shebang allows us to eliminate the possibility of making that mistake. So line number one is always the shebang. Now let's save our file. Save. Good. As of right now, you have a script. It does nothing, but it is a script. So let's learn how to run the script. I'm going to open a terminal, and I'm going to navigate to the location where this file is located. Now, this script is located in the scripts folder. And for me to navigate to that folder, I need to do cd scripts. And that's going to take me to the scripts folder. Then here I can type bash and then the name of my script, which is lab4 script1.sh. Press enter and that execute the script. That's one way for you to execute your script. Another way is you can open the file manager, navigate to the scripts directory, right click, and then open your terminal here. And then type bash and then the name of your script. And there you go. There is another way to execute our script as well. Let me just cd, let me clear my screen, right? As a matter of fact, I'm going to close the terminal completely and open it again. This other way of executing the script is using the full path of the script. So we can do bash, and we can see over here that this script is located in this path. So we can type ~/scripts, and then the name of the script right here, lab4 scripts1.sh, and press enter. And that also is going to work. Now, whichever of the three methods that you pick to execute your script, just make sure that you understand them properly. Practice them and you pick the method that works the best for you. I'm not going to be critical about which method you use, regardless of how much we advance. The other two methods that I show you, you're going to learn more about them as we learn more about the Linux system. So I'm going to zoom in over here for a moment, and I'm going to put this right beneath each other. Let me make this a little bigger so that you can see better when you're watching the script. If you are when you're watching this video, if you're watching on a smaller screen. There we go. Perfect. Okie dokie. Take a screenshot of your text editor. So take a screenshot of your text editor. I'm talking about this. I am going to take a screenshot of both, but you can take a screenshot of one if you want. And the reason why I recommend taking a screenshot of both is so that you see exactly what you're doing and you can have it as a reference for later. Okay, and the question is going to be question 2.1.png. Save. Moving on. Printing text to the screen. To print text to the screen, we use the echo command, right? So echo and then whatever you want to print to the screen. Let's practice echo a little bit. So if I do echo hello, that gets printed in the screen. And if I do echo -e hello, this allows me to insert backlash interpretation of characters. For example, I can put a tab here. I can put a new line. And it's going to print hello world. So it's going to print hello, as you see over here, a tab, as you can see over here, world, as you can see over here, a new line, right? It starts in the next line, hello again, a tab, and then the word class. Now, there is more about the echo command, of course. Remember that you can always do, just to clear here, you can always do man echo, and you can see all the options of the echo command, and you can also see all of the backslash interpretation that we can use. Okay, now we're going to create a new script and we're going to call it lab4 script2.sh. Bash, and let's save it in our scripts directory. I'm in scripts, and this script is called lab4 script2.sh, and save. Perfect. Okay, so now that we finish with our script, creating the script, let's use the echo command to print hello world into our program. So we just do echo hello world. Let's save the script. Notice that this is not saved because there is a little dot over there. The moment that I save it, the dot goes away. I'm going to exit the man page in my terminal, and I'm going to execute this script. Bash, the location of the script, and then the name of the script, which is lab4 scripts2.sh. And it printed hello world, just how I specified in the script. Use the man page. So sorry, use the echo command again and do the following. A line of text with a horizontal tab. So if you open the man page of echo again, you're gonna notice that to use backslash interpretation, and I need -e. So we're gonna do echo -e, and then you are going to use the tab character, which is \t, as you can see over here. So we're gonna do, just gonna do name Joe. As a matter of fact, let me add another one there just for the sake of demonstration. Age 35. Let's save the script. I did Control S, by the way, but you can also do hamburger menu and save. I'm going to exit the man page by pressing Q, and I'm going to run the script one more time. So the arrow key on my keyboard up allows me to navigate the history, as you already know, and press enter here. And as you can see, 2 lines were printed with a tab in between. 2 lines of text in a single echo command. Okay, so 2 lines of text in a single echo command. So we're going to do echo -e one more time because we want to insert a new line somewhere within our text. So I'm going to say age. I'm going to add 2 more items over there. I'm going to say color \t, and I'm going to say blue Then right after, I'm going to put a new line and I'm going to say game, and I'm going to say a new tab again, and I'm going to say that the game is Tetris, and I'm going to save with Control S one more time. You can also save by using the hamburger menu and save. Now let's execute the script one more time. And as you can see, it printed one line and it printed another line using the new line character over here. Remember, you need the -e option in order for you to print the new line character. Save and run your script, which we already did. And now let's take a screenshot, call it question2.2.png. I missed a little period over here, but I trust that you can autocorrect that. Question2.2.png. Running other commands in our script. Now we're going to create another script and we're going to call it lab4 script3.sh. I'm going to close these two over here because I do not need them anymore. You know what? It would be a good idea for me to make the text bigger. Yeah, that's not bad. Let me see if I have my favorite font. And yeah, I do have my favorite font here. Perfect. That's much better. The shell declaration as the first line. Beautiful. Now we're going to use the echo and the date command to print the following text. Today's date is, and then this. Now, we need to print this in one line, and in a new line, we need to print the date command. So we're going to do echo today's date is, and then the date command, because date, let me clear the screen over here, date is going to print, well, the date. Good. I'm going to save it and I'm going to execute it to see how it's going. So the name of the script is lab4 script3.sh. It's working in one line and then on the second line today's date. Use the echo command and the who am I command to print the following. The current user is, okay, let me do that. Echo, the current user is, good. And in the same line, okay, so right over here, username of the current user. Okay, so I know that the who am I command gives me the username of the current user. However, how do I put both of these in a single line? Well, let's go and do man echo, and let's take a look at the option. Look at the first option here. Do not output the trailing new line, -n. So let's try it out. Let's do echo -n hello class. And let's see what happens. Press enter, and immediately my shell prompt was printed right after the output of the command. This seems to be like what I need. So let's do the current user is, and then we're gonna do -n here, and we're gonna do who am I. Let's save the script and run it. Great, it's working. We get the output of echo, and then in the same line, we get the username. Beautiful. I'm going to show you another way to do this. You can, let me do this, copy it right over here. You can put a semicolon in the end, and then the next command, which will be who am I? And this will give you the same result. See, the exact same result, right? The semicolon just tells the shell that this command ended. Please, this is another command. So this is a line termination command, essentially. Okay, I'm just gonna comment this out. By the way, this is a comment. This is gonna make it so that this doesn't execute. We're gonna cover that later on in the semester. Moving on, use the echo and the free command to show how much used and free memory the system has. So we're gonna print memory usage. Okay, so let's do echo memory usage. And then we're gonna do the output of free minus h. So we do free minus h. And let's execute it. There we go. So memory usage and then the output of free minus h. Let's take a screenshot here. And save. Okay. That right there ends question number 2. Now, the next part is a challenge question. What I want you to do is write a script that is going to generate this output over here. And the way you should approach this script is as follows. First, you should create the empty script, just the file. And you're going to save that file in your lab4 directory, right? So you're going to save it there. So let me show you what you need to do. So we come here, create a new script, right? Bin bash. And you're not saving it here because I need that script in your repository so that I can grade it. So let's go to home, CIS 106, lab, labs, lab number 4. And you're gonna name this script challenge 4 underscore lab 4.sh. You can name it something else if you want. Just remember the name that you give it so that you can properly run the script. Again, you can name it something else if you want. Just make sure that when you run the command for the script, you are using the proper name. And remember that Linux is case sensitive. So challenge underscore lab4.sh and save. Right? I'm going to clear my screen over here and I'm going to execute my script. So I'm going to copy this command and I'm going to paste it here. Notice that I didn't receive any error message at all, which means that the file name was working correctly. The script is running, although there is nothing in it. Look what happens when I give an incorrect name, right, for a file that doesn't exist. It complains and it tells me that there is no such a file in the folder that you specified, right? So if you see an error like this, you have a typo in the file name or you place your files in the wrong folder. So just retrace your step slowly, one step at a time, and you'll figure out the solution to your problem. I cannot offer you much help in the challenge question. The only help that I can offer here is provide extra explanations if they are needed, because you're supposed to finish that challenge question completely on your own. That's the whole point of what you did in the previous question. Now, again, I need you to look at line by line. So the first thing you should figure out is, how do I print this line over here? Like, how do I get that clean line there? And if you go to the tips here, notice that I told you how. The character that I use for that line is this one over here. Once you figure out how to print this line, you need to figure out, how do I print these nice little letters here that you see there? There is a command for that. Now, all the commands that you're going to need for this script, I provide them to you over here. I suggest that you look at the man page for each and every one of these commands. You can also look at the presentation, what is a shell, that contains examples on how to use these commands, right? And you can also use the shell script in chapter 1 presentation to refer to the steps on creating a script. So let's continue looking at the tips. Notice that the date format that I use over here for the date is very different from just running the date command, right? So you need to look at the man page of the date command, and I suggest that you take a look at the format control characters that I have laid out over here. There are also examples of the date command in the presentation as well. But I think that by using the man page and by using the format control characters here, this documentation, you will be able to figure out how to print the date like this. Next is, I think that's about it, right? Because then it's just rinse and repeat. Like, how do you print the, date USC and then a tab? Maybe there is more than one tab. You don't know. You will need to do a lot of experimentation here. But again, I need you to address this script line by line in the output. Once you figure out line one, then let's figure out how to print this little header. Then let's figure out how to print the date in UTC and then printing it out like this. Then how do we get the host name? And line by line until you have a complete script, right? You can do it the same way that I'm showing you right over here. For example, if I type a command here, echo, this is an example, and then I want to see how this looks like. I go back to my terminal, I execute my script in, okay, so that's how that looks like. And I'm like, okay, so if I do date, you know, um, and okay, how does it look? Okay, this is how my script is looking like. Okay, so how about if I do this, echo, let me just use these hyphens and see if it comes out right. Okay, that didn't come out quite all right, so I need to go back to the drawing board. You see the flow, right? Whatever I type here, if I want to see how it looks like, I can go and execute the script and just rinse and repeat until you get an outcome that looks as close to this. How I am gonna grade this lab for you? Well, this challenge question is 50 points, right? So there are things that are worth 10 points. For example, being able to write the script and execute it. That's 10 points right there. So if I don't find the script in your GitHub repository and your script doesn't run, you lose those points right there. Like, did you use every command that you were supposed to use here correctly? It's another 10 points, and so on. What else here you should know? The other two questions are worth 25 points, so you got 50 points almost for free. And so at a minimum, you should be able to get 50 points out of this lab. Practice creating shell scripts, please. Make sure that you practice this. Make sure that you learn how to do this properly, because this is part of your final exam. With that said, I'm just going to prepare the submission. So let's see what you need to provide as a submission for this question. What will you submit? Place and properly label using headings, convert the file to PDF. But I didn't explain. Oh, yeah, I did right here. Take a screenshot of your text editor and your terminal, so both together. But what I'm gonna do is that I am going to run clear. Okay, just make it smaller, and there we go. Selection, take a screenshot, and boom. Okay, and this is question 3.1.png, because that's the challenge question, and click on save. Done. So now let's prepare our submission. I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna close this. This can be minimized. Labs, I mean DIX106, lab number 4, and let's do lab 4.md, right? Question 1, question 2, and question 3. And we do here our screenshots, right? And for question 1, we have q1.1.png, and we have q1.2.png, and we have q1.3.png, and then we have q1. That's it, that 4.png, and I think that's about it. Yeah. Now let's do question number 2. For question number 2, we have q2.1.png, then we have q2.2.png, and we have q2.3.png. q3.png. Done. And now let's do question 3. So q3.1. Boom. And I think I included all my screenshots over here. Let's make sure. Yeah, 3.1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 4. Yep, 1, 1, 1, 2. And this we need to rename. It already exists. So I have 2q3. Let's see what this is. Yeah, seems like we have 2. Let me see what this looks like. Rename. Which one is this? This is nothing, so we're gonna delete this. Oh, okay, this is clean. Let's preview our file. Okay, let's make sure we have all of our images here. So we got question 1, looking good, looking good. Question 2, and question 3. Perfect. Oh, okay. One thing that I want to add over here is the link to the script. So script, and then the link to the script, which is challenge 4.sh. There we go. Perfect. Let's convert this to PDF. Beautiful. And let's push this to GitHub. Just in case there are any changes that I did in another computer. Git add period, git commit -m, finished lab 4, and git push. Now let's go take a look at our GitHub repository. Which user am I using here? Yeah, there we go. Just didn't load. Perfect. Got scared for a second there. Okay, so what I'm gonna do when I'm grading this assignment is that I'm gonna go to your GitHub repository. I'm gonna look at your script. I'm gonna see the source code. I'm gonna read it, download it, and run it. And then I'm gonna compare the output that I'm gonna get with the code that you wrote and with the screenshot that you gave me. If that doesn't match, I cannot give you the credit for that particular lab. Please do not include commands that we didn't cover in class. Stick to what we covered in class. It will be to your best interest. Now let's look at markdown.md. Everything is loading fine, and the link works as expected as well. Perfect. So this is the URL that you're gonna give me, as you already know, right here. This is the URL that you're gonna give me, as you already know, and the PDF file. If you have any questions, you know what to do. Slack me. And remember, I can provide extra explanations for the challenge question, but I cannot provide the answer. I cannot. Only extra explanations on things that are not clear. See you in the next one.